Chapter 8. Katie checked her phone when she got back to her room. She had a signal, but it was weak. She dialed Ashley's number. "Hi, Katie," Ashley said. "How goes your weekend getaway?" "It certainly is not what I expected," Katie said. "Is that good or bad?" "I don't know," Katie said. "I hit a man with my car during the snowstorm on the way up here." "Oh my God, is he okay?" "He's okay now, but I can't get my windshield fixed until tomorrow afternoon." "Your windshield? How hard did you hit him? How is he okay?" "It turns out he's quite resilient." "Sounds like my kind of man. Is he cute?" "Stop. Now you sound like my mother." "You talked to your mother about him? He must be special." "He is special, but not in that way," Katie said. "I just felt bad that I hit him, so I stayed with him to ensure he was okay." "Why didn't you get him medical attention?" Ashley asked. "It was in the middle of a snowstorm. I had no cell signal, and he doesn't have a phone." "He doesn't have a phone? He must be one of those rugged outdoor types. So you spent the night with him?" "Yes, but I didn't sleep with him, if that's what you're getting at," Katie said. "Well, there's always tonight." "No, there isn't. I told him I had to rest and wanted to be alone." "Are you crazy?" Ashley asked. "Do you sabotage relationships on purpose?" "What are you talking about? I didn't sabotage Brad." "Listen," Ashley said, "I was never a Brad fan, and I think you are better off without him, but that's not the point." "Are you sure you weren't looking for a reason to end it? The same goes for Alan and that other guy. What was his name?" "Bob." "Bob, right. What about Bob?" Ashley said and laughed. "Very funny, Ashley. You should know I didn't sabotage any of those relationships. I just happened to be very particular, and none of those men were right for me." "We all have flaws, Katie. The perfect man is the one you can put up with. My husband has plenty of flaws and annoys the crap out of me sometimes, but he loves me and treats me like a princess." "So, how did you know John was the right man for you?" "When you find the right one, you just know." "Yeah, that's what my mom said." "Your mom is right. By the way, did you hear that David is moving up to corporate and Stephen will take his place as anchor?" "Really? That means that there will be an open position for an investigative reporter. Do you know anything about that?" "No, but I imagine it would go to you or Kevin. It's too bad you won't be in tomorrow. You need to show them." Just then, the phone went dead. Katie looked and saw she lost the signal. She thought about calling Ashley back on the hotel phone, but there was no point. She sat on the bed and thought about her situation. She thought about what Joe had said. Would this new job make her happy? Would she enjoy hard news stories? She was sitting on one right here. She had to think. She opened her laptop and connected it to the resort's Wi-Fi. She looked up Croatian Americans Wisconsin and found a Croatian American club in Milwaukee. She went to their website and found an email address. She then connected her phone to her laptop, downloaded the photo of the letter from Joe's mother, and attached it to an email. She asked for help determining where the woman who wrote the letter was from. She signed it using her real name, sent the email, closed her laptop, and sat back to think. 30 minutes later, the sound of an email arriving awakened her. She had dozed off. She was more tired than she realized. She opened her laptop and read the email. It was from a woman named Martina Pavlicek. "Thank you for your email. Judging by the writing and the last name of Novak, the woman who wrote the letter probably came from the northwestern part of the country, near where the border of Slovenia and Hungary meet. I know someone who comes from that area and will contact her about it to see if she knows anything more." Katie wrote back, "Thank you so much. Please also ask her if she has heard any stories of very long-lived people in the area." She searched the internet for stories of Croatian people with very long lives. She tried every search term she could think of, but nothing relevant came up. She did learn that women live 4 years longer than men, which she found a bit ironic. After a while, she felt hungry and realized it was almost 6, so she put her laptop away and headed to the restaurant. When she arrived, she was seated right away near the window like last time. It was already almost dark, but the slopes were lit up, and she could see a few skiers out there, but not nearly as many as at lunchtime. The restaurant was also relatively empty. Sunday night was probably not a typically busy time of the week. A woman came to her table to take her order, and Katie asked, Is Eric here? I'm sorry, but Eric comes in early on the weekends. He's gone home already. What about Joe? I think he's gone too. At least I haven't seen him in a while. That's okay, Katie said. Do you have the prime rib tonight? Oh, that's a great choice. Would you like something to drink? A Coke, please, she said. She then thought about what Joe said about addiction and changed it to an unsweetened iced tea. After dinner, Katie wandered up to the front desk. There was a woman behind the counter that she didn't recognize. She said, "Is Joe still here?" "No, I'm sorry," the woman said. "He went home a little while ago." "Thank you," Katie said, and walked to the front door. A light snow was coming down, and Katie briefly considered walking to his cabin. Was she crazy? Did she really want to risk getting lost and freezing to death? She banished the thought from her mind and returned to her room. She opened her laptop and read an email that was waiting for her. "Hello, Miss Kowalczyk. My contact agrees that she probably came from the country's northwestern part and personally knows several Novaks in the area. She was intrigued by your question about long-lived people. She has heard stories of a small settlement near a town called Dekanovec. According to legend, a healer is born once or twice a century. This healer never ages and passes his knowledge on to the next healer. The healers can be killed, but they never die of old age. Of course, it's just a legend." Katie closed her laptop and put on her coat and gloves. She tucked her laptop under her arm and went to the front desk. "Can anyone drive me to Joe's house?" she asked. The woman gave her an awkward look and said, "Joe is not a big fan of visitors, if you know what I mean." "He'll want to see me," Katie said. "Unfortunately, there is nobody available at this time." "That's okay," Katie said. She returned to her room, sat on the bed, and thought a while. Was she crazy? She would stay in her room and go to bed early if she were smart. She got up, put her coat on, grabbed her laptop, and went outside. She walked to her car, hesitated for a moment, then opened the door and got in. Driving with a cracked window at night while it was snowing was not easy, but Katie made it back to Joe's cabin. She grabbed her laptop and pounded on his door. The door opened, and a surprised Joe said, "Katie, what are you doing here? Can I come in?" "Of course," Joe said as he stepped aside to let her in. She put her laptop down and took off her gloves. She then put her hands on Joe's face and kissed him. "I'm sorry," she said. "I know what I need now," and kissed him again. The kissing became passionate, and Katie removed her coat and unbuttoned Joe's shirt. She took it off and examined his body. It was flawless. She let Joe unbutton her shirt and take it off. She reached back to unbutton her bra, but Joe stopped her. "No, let me do it." When her bra was off, Joe looked at her and said, "You are so beautiful." He picked her up and placed her gently on the bed. They made love for hours before falling asleep together. Katie awoke the next morning to an empty bed. She looked up and saw Joe in front of the stove. He noticed she was awake and said, "Good morning, sunshine. I hope you like French toast." "I love it," she said as she sat up and looked for her clothes. She put them on and sat down at the small dining room table. Joe placed a plate of French toast in front of her and another plate across from her. He placed silverware on the table along with butter and maple syrup. He sat down and said, "Bon appétit." Katie put a little butter and syrup on her French toast, took a bite, and said, "This is delicious. Thank you, Joe, but you didn't have to go through the trouble." "No trouble at all. I would have made it for myself if you weren't here. Somehow, your presence makes it so much better. I came here last night to show you something." "Really?" Joe said. "I thought you might have come for a different reason." "Well, I did come here because I wanted to see you, but I also wanted to show you what I found." "What you found? Do you mean about the letter?" "Yes, I know where your mother was from, and there are rumors of more people like you." Joe put his fork down and asked, "Are you serious?" "Yes, I'll show you the email." "Let's finish our breakfast first," Joe said. "I've waited this long. A few more minutes won't hurt." When they finished eating, Katie put her laptop on the table and opened her email program. She turned the screen toward Joe so he could read the message. "Healer," he said. "What do you think she means by healer? I'm not a healer." "I don't know. Maybe knowing how your own body works helps you to know how it works in other people." "That is true to a certain extent," Joe said, But it sounds like these people were born to be healers, like they had a gift for healing other people. I don't feel that way. Can you ask her how those people were able to heal others? I can, but not from here. I have no internet here. Okay, Joe said. Let's go back to your room where there's internet. They worked together cleaning the kitchen. When they finished, they put their coats on and drove back to the resort. When they arrived, Michael was at the front counter and said, "Good morning, Pops. Good morning, Katie. Are you keeping the old man out of trouble?" Katie laughed and said, "Short of running him over with my car, I don't know how that's possible." Once they were back in Katie's room, she opened her laptop and responded to the email again. This time, she asked the woman if she could learn more about the healers, specifically how they healed people. She also asked if there might be one alive today. She put the laptop away and sat on the bed when she finished. Joe sat beside her, kissed her, and said, "Thank you for looking into that for me. I suddenly feel a connection to the parents I never knew." Katie kissed him and said, "Anything for you, Joe." They kissed some more, and then Katie stood up and led Joe to the shower. They washed each other thoroughly and made love with the warm water flowing over them. They both felt cold when they got out of the shower, so they got in bed under the covers and held each other. "I know I said I would take you skiing today, so if you want, we can go out into the cold, or we can stay here in the warmth together." "I really didn't care much about skiing anyway," Katie said. "Now shut up and kiss me." This audiobook continues on the next video. For more information on this book and others by this author, please visit charleshuss.com.